So, welcome everyone. It is my great honor and pleasure to again welcome back Vaccasin from Yoga Point here in London, who this week will be guiding us through a 10-minute yoga practice, now looking more specifically at the knees. So for anyone out there who is awaiting knee surgery, particularly knee replacement surgery, but it could well be relevant for people having other procedures as well, or for people who have other problems with their knees. Having said that, as ever, this is not medical advice. Listen to your body, go softly, but all in all, this is a low intensity practice, which I'm very excited about, and I really hope that you'll find helpful. Is there anything else you'd want to say about that, Vaccasin?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Thanks, Axel. And I think I'll pretty much go from there. As you've said, it's low impact and very low intensity. And something that I've done over in past years, because I've had meniscus surgery myself on my knees, and I've had to some degree rehabilitate my knees as well. So I'm familiar with some of the discomfort and issues that might arise for people having or approaching surgery, though obviously mine was fairly low level surgery, but at the same time still there was a certain amount of swelling and discomfort that I had to work with.
Yeah. Okay, but very interesting. So you're coming at this with a bit of a sort of direct personal experience as well.
Yeah, very much so, very much so. And I have worked with students who have had quite severe issues with their knees, and just looked at how to work with the discomfort in a way that can be worked with, and avoiding the pain that can so often kind of dominate the experience of that lower area of the body.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's pain and also flexibility, so that the range of movement in the knee that can have a real significant impact on, you know, one's ability to get up from a chair, to move about and do the things that one wants to be doing, and therefore quality of life. And
absolutely. And yeah, as you've said, you know, just the simple act of getting up out of a chair, or even kind of descending back onto the chair, etc., and having that little bit more range of movement and freedom can make a great deal of difference to quality of life, you know, just in a very simple and ordinary way.
yeah, absolutely. And there will be many people watching this who are probably well aware and have been have heard about the idea of the importance of range of movement, of making sure that there's a good amount of bending and straightening in the leg, especially after knee surgery, and perhaps particularly so with knee replacement surgery. And this practice is hopefully something that may help with that. But of course, people may well also be given their own exercise plans. And so what we're hoping to do here is a sort of low intensity, gentle complement to other rehab protocols and other plans, and hopefully we'll be able to give you guys out there something that's helpful and a nice gentle practice. And I must say, Vaccasin, we've had really wonderful feedback on last week's session. I think it was really appreciated. So thank you for doing this.
That's great. I'm glad to hear there was good feedback. And you know, this has a similar aspect to what we covered last week, but this time we're bringing the leg up and using the position and working through the foot that little bit more to open up the back of the knee, and also using a little bit more flexion with the knee joint, bringing the heel in toward the pelvis, bringing the heel in toward the buttock.
Okay, excellent. Well, I'll say over to you, Vaccasin, and I'll try to follow along as best as I can.
That's great. Thanks a lot there, Axel. Okay. Well, hello everyone. My name's Vaccasin, and we're going to go through some very simple, and as we've been describing, low impact, low intensity practice to help open up the back of the knee and release the back of the knee into a more flexed position. I've got this set up here, but in no way do you need to have a setup like this. I'm using 2 chairs, as often people do have a couple of chairs available, but you can do it on a bed or on a sofa. Yeah, so the same setup is pretty much like this, as what you'd be doing is If you were using a bed, you'd sit on the bed, I'm just going to release this here, you'd raise a leg up, and in that way, the leg that is down on the floor can remain down, similar with the sofa, leg comes up, and in this way, it does take a bit of intensity out of the lower back. You can do these with both legs up, but it does mean that you're pulling up a little bit, and that's why I've got this support here, that if you were in bed, you could use the wall behind or your headrest on the bed to lean back into if you were raising both legs. But I'm going to suggest that you just keep one leg on the floor and have one leg raised. 2 chairs. A belt can be used, but a belt can also be a small towel or a scarf, in which case you can place the towel or the scarf around the foot, like so, and that can be really quite pleasant. It can just give you that stability and ease of the foot being supported. From there, another thing that can be useful is if you have a lot of tension in the back of the knee, sometimes a bit of support underneath the back of the knee can be useful. I'm not going to demonstrate this with the support behind the back of the knee, but for some, and it may be advised that you have a bit of support underneath the back of the knee. From there, what you're going to do is this. I'm going to show you on the left leg. The left leg is raised. You settle. You lift up. That sensation of lifting through the upper body, head poised and balanced. The belt at this point goes around the area just above the heel, just above the heel. So it's not actually on the heel, just above the heel. That gives a stirrup-like action in the arch of the foot. The arms I would tend to have as straight, and as you lift the upper body, you extend through your heel and through the ball of the foot, that area just below the toes. So you're moving the ball of the foot forward. You lift the chest, shoulders away from the ears. The belt will activate the area of the arch of the foot. And then to help open up the back of the leg, you're pressing your shin and gently through the back of the knee joint, drawing the kneecap in and making the thigh, this area of the body, this upper leg muscle, firm. Inhalation, exhalation. The breath is always a useful guide. Working with the tension in the back of the leg, there may be an element of discomfort as you work through, as you make that leg firm, but in no way do you want to be experiencing pain. And if you're unsure of the difference between discomfort and pain, you err on the side of caution. Inhalation, exhalation, good lift, an extension through the back of the leg, that leg working quite firm, kneecap drawing in, the thigh firm as you lift the chest. And then you release the belt. And here then bending the knee. Now it can be useful getting hold of the back of the knee, bending the knee. Now if there's a lot of tightness and restriction, just bringing the heel or even the sole of the foot onto the support and lifting the upper body. And then straightening the leg out again. For those of you that have that bit more flexion, you can bring the heel more in toward the pelvis, even putting the hands around the shin, lifting the upper body, shoulders away from the ears, inhalation, exhalation. And maybe a little bit further for others still. Again, grading the intensity due to or on the basis of the freedom of work. And if you've got that movement of the heel coming in toward the buttock, toward the pelvis, so much the better. But it's not a matter of pushing. Discomfort needs to be worked with in a calm and easy form, rather than feeling that you have to push into the back of the knee joint to gain. You just want to work with easy steps, easy movements. You're then straightening that leg out again. Again, holding the back of the knee just softens the tendons in the back of the knee as you straighten the leg. The tendons are part of the muscles. They are part of the muscles. So keeping that, working with the hands in the back of the leg, and even massaging the back of the leg, back of the knee can be useful. Now this time with the belt, you have the belt more around the ball of the foot. So the area just below the toes, be it, as I say, a belt, a scarf, or if you're using a towel, just more on the ball of the foot, just below the toes. And then as you lift up again, the shoulders away from the ears. You're then extending through the heel. Now this works the lower muscle of the back of the leg. That calf muscle gets that little bit more extension. It can be quite strong working through the heel, so often very little movement. You're not trying to aggressively pull the front of the foot toward you, but as you lift up, shoulders away from the ears, inhalation, exhalation, the extension through the heel that opens up the back of the leg that little bit more. Again, you're drawing the kneecap in, the thigh becomes firm and active, so you're developing the strength through the quad as you open up the back of the leg. Inhalation, exhalation, good lift. And then again, you're releasing. Here again, back of the knee joint can be made softer or helped by having the hands underneath the back of the knee and using that gentle lift, be it with the heel just coming in toward the pelvis a little, or coming up further and getting the sole of the foot on the support that you have in front. Good lift through the upper body. Those of you that have the freedom and ease, you're bending the knee, even lifting the foot off the support and bringing the heel in toward the pelvis. But again, just gently, just seeing what range of movement is there, using a little bit of pressure to increase the action of the flexion of that knee joint. And then again, you straighten out. Again, holding out the back, holding the back of the knee. You bring the leg down, and then without the use of the belt, you lift up. You extend into the arch of the foot where you had the belt originally, using almost the stimulation that you had in the arch of the foot, and you straighten that leg, opening up the chest as well. So you're orientating your whole body and awareness of your body into the area of the leg and foot. Inhalation, exhalation. From there, the knee bending, and you're coming down. Now, if you're using chairs as I am, you're then bringing your other leg up, and you're bringing the support underneath the leg and having the leg raised. But for some, it may well be that you have to turn if you're using a sofa, when you're using a bed, and with that, you can, again, come onto the side. I'm just going to remove this, put this down. And again, you're coming up and the leg is raised. If you need that extra support underneath the back of the knee joint, you have it there. So I'm just demonstrating that all you're doing is you're turning if you're on the sofa or bed. But if you are using two chairs, you can often just raise the opposite leg up. As I'm using the chairs, I can just come up, straighten the leg, lift up, chest open. From here, as we did on the previous side, the belt goes around the area just above the heel, the arch of the foot. This will just stimulate the action of straightening the leg into the arch of the foot. Gives almost like a stirrup experience to straightening the leg and that contact with the foot as you draw the kneecap in, strengthening the thigh and lifting the upper body. Inhalation, exhalation. For those of you that might need the bending and straightening of the leg, if you're finding it that little bit too intense to work with a number of breaths, those of you that have that freedom and ease, you can keep the intensity through extending into the arch of the foot, shoulders away from the ears, the chest raised, the shin pressing down, the kneecaps drawing in, the thigh active as you lift the chest up. Inhalation, exhalation. Inhalation, exhalation. After a few breaths, you release. The bending of the knee, this cupping the back of the knee, even having the thumbs around the front of the knee, can just keep that comfort and ease in bending the knee, bringing the heel toward you, and you lift up from there. For others who have that little bit more ease of movement, bringing the heel a bit closer in. Again, hands around the shins, lifting up, opening the chest. And for those of you that have a lot of ease of movement, with the hands around the shin, you can bring the foot up, knee raised, you bring the heel in toward the buttock pelvis, lifting the chest. Maybe even using this gentle, moving the foot away from the pelvis and then back in, almost gliding that leg backwards and forwards. You can even get the whole leg working. And then again, you're straightening the leg out. As you straighten the leg out, lifting the upper body, opening the chest. And then you're bringing the belt around the ball of the foot. With the belt around the ball of the foot, here you're bringing the foot toward you. The belt isn't on the toes, it's just below the toes. You don't want your little toe being jammed into the support of the belt, so the belt might be at an angle, or if you're using a scarf or a towel around the ball of the foot to help you work. The extension of the heel will work open the back of the calf muscle, that long leg muscle in the back of the lower leg. You're lifting up, chest open, shoulders away from the ears, inhalation, exhalation. Again, moving the foot away and then coming back towards you. For those of you that find that maybe quite intense, but others who can maintain the action, the extension into the heel as you lift the chest up, keeping the heel active, shoulders released away from the ears. And again, the kneecap drawing in, the thigh active. It will work that calf muscle of the lower leg, and that in turn will open up the back of the knee joint. As you did previously, releasing the scarf or the towel or the belt if you're using, the bending of the knee, the softening technique of the hands underneath the knees. And then you lift up. For others who have a little bit more flexion to be gained, that foot coming in and toward the pelvis, you have that lift in the chest, shoulders away from the ears. And then again, those of you who have more ease of movement, bringing the heel in toward the pelvis, using your hands on the shins, maybe even taking the foot away and then bringing the foot toward, away, toward, inhalation, exhalation. And then you're straightening that leg. You straighten the leg out. Here as you lift up, opening the chest, shin pressing down, the kneecap sucking in, the thigh firm as you lift up. Inhalation, exhalation, good, straight, strong leg. And then from there, you're easing down. You're bringing foot to floor. Or if you're on, obviously, your bed or your sofa, you would bring your legs around and just making yourself comfortable. One thing I will add at this point, just a small point, is to help the flexion of the knee, sometimes a very small towel in the back of the knee, just having it right in the back of the knee and almost swinging the leg off the belt or off the towel as I'm doing, can be a useful way of releasing the back of the knee joint and giving that ease of flexion. In some cases, this can be a really useful way just to finish from the work you've done with the leg. And what I would do, and as I was doing with the knee when I was having them rehabilitated, about 1998, I had both knees meniscus done, both at the same time. So I was working with quite a lot of restriction in the knees, and I was doing this type of exercise 3-4 times a day. So just bear that in mind. If you keep it easy, you can do it quite a few times. And I'll leave it there. Back to you, Axel. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for Chastity. That's a really nice, gentle exercise, and interesting also to hear about your own personal experience of knee surgery and how you found these exercises helpful. As ever, I'm wearing the sort of the caution and the safety hat, and so not all of these movements will be appropriate for everyone, and so it's certainly worthwhile getting some guidance if anyone is unsure about these exercises. And I think it also perhaps worth noting that perhaps for some people, seeing the belt can be a little bit intimidating. But actually, it could be a scarf, as you said, or a towel, and it's not necessarily about, well, it's not about pulling a lot and using a lot of force and a lot of strength. It's just sort of enabling a movement and a little bit of resistance, really, as I understand it.
Exactly, absolutely. It's all about just creating that little bit of resistance, and it also making the connection with the upper part of the body with the lower part of the body. It's literally just creating a little bit of a connection with the two as they can influence each other.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Vaccasin. I'm
welcome.
really excited to have your input in these sessions, and I look forward to the next one. And indeed,
Right.
if there's anyone out there who would like to have more, so to speak, then of course there are classes with yourself and others at Yoga Point available via the Yoga Point website, and there'll be a link to that below this video. And those classes, I believe, they're free for key workers.
They are free for key workers at the moment while we're still in the shutdown situation, and that may continue because we're very much we like to support key workers and support the community that are so much, you know, kind of doing so much for myself and for others, etc. We have free meditation classes online first thing in the morning at 6:30. I know it's early, but you can always log into those as well, as from Monday to Friday, 6:30. I lead a free meditation class with a bit of an introduction and approaches to meditation.
Wonderful. Well, thank you ever so much, Vaccasin, and I look forward to welcoming you back next week. And to everyone else out there, all the best, stay safe, and keep up the good work. Take care now. Bye-bye.